The majority of works in the Bank and Trust Show have been created in the past 10 years. Many created since the sharp economic downturn in 2008. Artists Nora Ligorano and Marshall Reese, for example, present video of their recent project, Main Street Meltdown. Shortly after the economic meltdown of September 2008, Ligorano and Reese carved the word economy in ice and placed their sculpture outdoors at Foley Square in Lower Manhattan.
It has a sense of finiteness, it has a fate about it.
What this is more, I don't know, more kind of contemplative. People can look at it and they can really be emotional and be inspired to talk about how the economy has affected them.
Gone past the melting point, I think.
This is, I think, the first time in my life that I've ever actually felt it really melting.
Gene Shin's Chance City will be installed at the Arts Exchange as part of the Bank and Trust Show. Ms. Shin uses thousands of discarded scratch-and-win lottery tickets to construct towering buildings. Constructed as a house of cards, these structures embody the failed hopes and dreams of ordinary people. Feelings of insecurity might also attend the work of Kim Beck. The gouaches of middle-class homes in Beck's Ownership Society series embody the ideal of the American dream of home ownership. Reading the wall text for these works, however, visitors will realize that Beck is depicting homes that are currently in foreclosure. The work of Tom Otterness, one of the most well-known sculptors of public art in the United States, will also be featured.
You had to have a language that people could understand, wouldn't feel that they were being ridiculed or talked down to or over, or so the language itself, the visual language itself, had to be a common. You had to have common ground, you know. For me, it was to go to cartoons or animation or something that people understood. Oh, that's a cartoon, or that's funny, I understand that.
The Bank and Trust Show includes a wide range of media, from sculpture and painting to video and performance art. But according to curator Dara Myers-Kingsley, a common thread that runs through all of the works is the idea of value.
The idea of value and what we value. I think, having just lived through and still living through sort of difficult economic times, I think every single one of us started to question what we value and what has value for us.
For the Bank and Trust Show, artist Laura Carton will present work from the Cash for Gold series. Carton will show actual gold ingots that she designed. The gold is for sale during the run of the exhibition. However, the future resale of the piece will come with restrictions. The buyer has the option of keeping the piece or selling it to a gold dealer for its current market value, provided the piece is melted or destroyed. The buyer is faced with a dilemma of whether the object will have more value as a work of art or if it is destroyed.
I wanted a work that could function both in that art economy and in the greater economy that we all participate in. So something that had not only monetary or value or cultural value as an art piece, but that literally was money or represented money in the world.
In their recent book, Artworks, Money, art historian Katie Siegel and philosopher Paul Matic examine the ways in which value is ascribed to art.
Just as gold is both in itself a precious metal and it acquires a certain value when it is stamped as money, so you can say that a material has a certain value in its own, but when it becomes a work of art, it gets another value. It's impressed with the name of the artist. So a even a humble material like a piece of wood, if signed or shaped by an artist, can become much more valuable than any gold ingot can be. So I think that artists find this fascinating, and you can see why. I mean, it does seem to be sort of magical and weird that certain people have the power to convey monetary value on objects simply by making them.
Aside from issues of value and economic health, the Bank and Trust Show examines the changing role of the bank in today's society. Arts Westchester CEO Janet T. Langsam conceived of the Bank and Trust Show to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Arts Westchester's purchase and adaptive reuse of the People's National Bank and Trust Company building, built and opened in downtown White Plains in 1929. At the height of the Roaring Twenties and just months before the stock market crash of 1929 that marked the onset of the Great Depression. For the Bank and Trust Show, Arts Westchester commissioned photographer Michael Varenwald to photograph bank buildings in White Plains and New York City that are now being used for different purposes.
It's going back to this idea of a bank being a sort of cornerstone of a community, or one of the cornerstones of a community. I think the fortress-likeness of the bank is, actually holding maybe some accumulated wealth or money, capital, things like that, which banks no longer really do. The other thing is, I think the grand appearance made it sort of a central part of a community, a symbolic part of a community. Funding things, approving things, things like that, and it really was part of a local environment.
With her infrared photographs of the vaults of early 20th century banks, Diane Tuft captured not only the beauty of these objects, but also, she believes, prevailing attitudes about banking at the time.
You could probably travel all day long without a dollar, without even looking at a dollar, and then money was really, really important enough to build a vault around the money, and important around the vault to build a bank around the vault. So it was almost like this altar where you put your money in and you'd be able to see it, and it would mean something.
In recent years, banking has become a more automated experience. For artist Chris Kaczmarek, while technology can provide wonderful benefits, it may also create a digital divide between those who can access technology and those who cannot.
QR code is supposed to be done on the fly, in your hands, mobile computing, and what you can do with a smartphone with the camera, it takes the view of the QR code, and the QR code tells the smartphone to go somewhere. In this case, it goes to a web page where people are asked to enter their name and their email. So someone needs to trust the artist, me, and the gallery a little bit, to get another level of access. They have to enter their name and their email, and once they've done that, they're given this privileged view. They're given access to a real-time live feed from a camera in the gallery space, and all the sort of power differentials that you have having access to a security camera image.
The piece that I have in the show is called a Woof Woof. It is a kind of manifestation of black vernacular phrase, selling wolf tickets, which is when you say you're going to do this and do that, and you have these grand proclamations and nothing happens. And so I was looking at notions of the American dream and capitalism as a kind of solve-all, as selling wolf tickets. And so I manifest that. I designed my own wolf tickets that are being sold for $1. And they say things like, good luck, you won't win, the more you buy, the better your chances. And then I also constructed a raffle, and it was a raffle booth for those wolf tickets. And the raffle never happens, even though there are all of these calls for the raffle. Oh, 5 more minutes, it's gonna happen, 5 more minutes. And throughout the whole opening, it never bears fruit.
All of the artists in the Bank and Trust Show offer new insights and encourage us to think about the deeper questions that shape our perceptions about the economy. As Paul Arden has said, the major concern of the epoch, the economy, is to today's art what the nude, the landscape, or the myth of the new were in their time to neoclassicism, impressionism, and the avant-garde, both a motivator of creativity and a theme to the taste of the moment.